Guys, welcome back to the Round 14 podcast, episode 7. And Tony, how are
Seven.
you, my friend? We've got a big
Doing
one
well.
tonight.
Doing well. How are you doing? All right?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How was your weekend? Big weekend, both sides of the border.
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
Day
Yeah.
on July 1st and followed up by
Yep.
the 4th of
Independence Day
July.
on the 4th of July. It was good. We did the whole barbecue thing outside,
Yep.
burgers, whatnot. You guys had a good time?
Yeah, there was fireworks going off in here. Um around the neighborhood like you wouldn't believe. I don't know where they got the fireworks and
And you don't
beer
care.
and fireworks in Canada. It's a great combination. So,
Yeah. Right. Good
but
stuff. Good
episode
stuff.
7, guys, huge day today. July 6th is the one and only Sylvester Stallone's 76th birthday. So, Mr. Stallone, we wish you a happy birthday, sir.
Very happy birthday. 76 on 7/6, actually. Look at
Yeah,
that. 7/6, and he's turned 76.
yeah.
That's awesome. 76, and he ain't slowing down for 1 second either, is he?
No, sir. He is certainly not slowing down. And if you haven't figured out by now, guys, we are going to get into it this episode. 76 years old. He's got a boatload of stuff coming out this year. The Tulsa King in November. He's got Expendables 4 coming out. Also,
Yep.
highly anticipated Samaritan coming out.
Yep, Samaritan. He's got the
So,
reality show with his
yeah, his
daughters.
daughters are going to be doing reality show.
He's just going, go. I mean, good for him. He's got the energy. He's got the obviously the talent. I mean,
Yeah.
the working out and the taking care of yourself obviously shows.
Yeah.
Because the man is a actor. He is a writer. He is a director. He is a producer.
Mm-hmm.
He is an artist, and that has nothing to do with the films. I mean, so
Yeah.
he's definitely a jack of all trades, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't say a master of none by any means.
No.
He's definitely a master of a lot.
Well, Tony, he certainly showed us, all of us, the true meaning of keep moving forward, right?
Yeah,
Don't ever quit. Don't ever stop.
yeah,
I mean, we all know the backstory. It didn't start out great,
no,
but what he's done is he never gave up. And starting with
yeah.
when he got Rocky, when he got that one out, it was a different thing, right? So,
He stood his ground, and
mhm.
then wanted to play the part. He didn't change
Yep.
his mind with that for 1 second. I couldn't imagine having no money, sold my dog,
Hmm.
and somebody offers me $500,000, $250,000 or whatever the actual amount is. It's almost like a fishing story. The more you hear it, the larger
Yeah.
the amount gets. But regardless, it's more money than he's ever seen in his life.
Hmm.
And for him to turn it down and say, "No, I'm doing
Yeah.
this." And actually, I mean, that's when I plan on saying to him when I do meet him in December. I want to thank him for having the courage to stand his ground and become
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think Rocky, and it's easy for me to sit here and say this now because Rocky's already established into
Hmm.
what it is, but I don't think it would have been the film it was and the impact it had on millions and millions of people if it was a different actor.
No.
Because if that other actor did it, it would have just been a role. They wouldn't have cared. And
Hmm.
he cares. He cares
That's
about
right.
that role. That's his
Well,
baby.
I mean, you're certainly right. That is his baby. That's his words on those paper.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a Rocky 2 or Rocky 3. There might not even be a Rambo if he doesn't do Rocky.
Well,
Right?
probably not. I mean, maybe. Well, and again, maybe not. It wouldn't have been a Rambo, even if there was a First Blood. I don't think it would
Yeah.
have become into Rambo like it did.
No, that's right.
Because they didn't have him. He definitely proves to you that you stand your ground, or
Yeah.
or don't take no for an answer, or if you really believe in it with your heart, keep
Hmm.
moving forward and not give up. And
So
that's exactly what he did.
I'm gonna put a picture up here for us to enjoy
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah. Look
roles.
how different he is in
Iconic,
the
right?
role.
Like
I know, right?
those are
What
some of the
actor
biggest
can say?
characters.
What actor can say they have that many iconic roles?
Hmm. Yeah, right there. Like you got Rocky, you got Rambo, Cobra, Tango from Tango and Cash, Judge
Uh-huh.
Dredd, Demolition Man, Expendables. So 3 of those characters right there that he stars in. There's not too many people around that have claimed a 3 series right? Everybody's been in a series, whether it's been the Lethal Weapons or the Batmans and
Right.
Back to the Futures, but I don't think there's anybody that has 3
I don't
franchises.
believe so. I mean, I'd have to really research it, but yeah,
Mhm.
3 film franchises that are very
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, there's no doubt about that. Very
Mhm.
successful. Um, to see that type of, uh, I don't want to say fame, but success,
Mhm.
lack of a better term,
Yeah.
with a film franchise, as rare
Yeah.
as it is.
I mean,
But to have,
these aren't films that he put out and nobody cared about. These are
bro,
blockbusters. Do you
yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Right? Like
I mean,
these are the heavy hitters.
yeah, those are any one of those franchises would have made
Mhm.
it would have been life altering for an
Yeah.
actor, and that's all they would have done.
I mean,
And
it
he's
started,
always said,
you know,
I think he believes he's a writer before all of it,
yeah.
before the acting, before the
Yeah.
directing, producing, and whatnot.
Mhm.
I think that picture's so cool because of the Rocky poster on the wall.
Yeah, that's right. And that's I truly believe he's in his happy place when he's pen to paper.
Yeah.
Leave him alone and the juices are flowing, right? I think I've heard him say that before when he gets creative, like, you know, don't come in, don't bug me. And the fact is he puts it on notepad still. He's still
Mhm.
doing the notepad
Little spiral notebook.
some 50 years later, that he's
Yeah.
still writing it down and chicken scratches
Yep.
and writing um I was making some notes for the show tonight, and
And my hand
I
got
was using a
tired.
notepad, right? So, but
Oh, that's
I
great.
I
No,
love some of these
and I'm
pictures.
sure that's the hardest of the group. I mean, I'm obviously speaking not from experience.
Yeah.
I've never been any of those in a
Hmm.
professional level.
Yeah,
And but the writer, I'm sure, is the toughest of the group
that's right.
as far as director, producer, actor, and writer.
Well, and then now you touched on this earlier. We get into not only is he writing it, but you'll find him behind the camera. You'll find him on set giving
Yep.
direction, right?
Yep.
This is from Rocky Balboa, 2008.
6.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. 2006. Sorry. There's so many moves. I got that's the Rambo. I apologize, Sly.
It looked like a 6 on the
Yeah,
paper. You see, your hand was getting
that's right.
tired when you were
Well,
writing.
that's right. So no, I have a hard time keeping track of what he's doing.
Right?
So I put some notes here, Tony. 83 films that
Wow.
he's either appeared in, uncredited, a cameo, or of course starred in. 83 films.
And in the beginning, there was a lot of uncredited
Yeah,
cameos, uncredited parts. The guy on the sidewalk,
yeah.
the
The
guy in the
mugger.
subway,
Yeah, the mugger in
mugger.
the subway who beat up Woody Allen, right? So,
Yeah, yep. I mean, the very
um,
first film he ever did was in 1969, The Square Root, and he was an
yeah,
uncredited cameo, extra.
hmm
He was an extra
hmm
in that.
right?
69 was the downhill racer. He was a restaurant patron,
Wow.
So I mean, that's 69. That's 7 years, right? Before Rocky,
hmm
6
hmm
probably, because it was released in 76.
Yep.
So it's not like he was discovered overnight and he had this overnight
No,
fame.
that's right. And let me tell you something. Those still count. If I was in a movie, it was uncredited. You'd hear it every 5 minutes. I tell
Oh,
you,
of
hey,
course.
did you see me? Did you see me in Rambo? Did you see I was the guy that got shot the first scene?
And
You see
and
me
you know,
him beat
and
me up?
he was just trying to get to the next one, get a
Yeah.
few under his belt, get the experience of what it's like to be in a
hmm
movie. I'm
Yeah.
sure he made a few bucks and maybe got a sandwich.
Yeah.
That was it. But it led him to the next one,
Right.
and which led him to the next one, and so forth.
And then of
So it's
course we got the uh his breakout role, right? We're all
there it is,
familiar with this scene,
there it
right?
is.
Like anybody that's seen that, and I don't know who hasn't seen Rocky. I'm sure there's some people that haven't, but
I'm sure there is.
you put that picture up and ask them who's this, and they'll
Yeah.
tell you who it is.
Or you play the first few sounds of the, Gonna Fly Now or Eye of the
Mm-hmm.
Tiger. They
Mm-hmm.
know what it is. They know
Yeah,
what it is.
that's right.
And that was in 76. I mean, he did all just extra stuff, like you
Yeah,
said, the mugger, the this and that. The only one he had a substantial meaty role in before Rocky was Lords of Flatbush,
sure.
um, which is a good film. Which is a
Yeah.
very good film. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed that film, but he definitely played the bruiser, tough guy. He was
Yeah,
all stocky and meaty and
that's right.
with the leather jacket and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to say it for sure, but I think Hollywood kind of assumed that's the role he would take on.
Well, he even said it.
Yeah.
He even said, that it seemed like he was just getting offered, tough guy roles, the shakedown role, the mob guy role.
Hmm.
He wanted to get branched past that.
Yeah.
And
Now
that's not easy to do.
I read that when he was a extra in Woody Allen movie, there were muggers on the train, right?
Yeah.
That Woody Allen eventually, prior to that, was going to pass. Said, I don't think it's going to work out. I'm not really sure you're intimidating enough. So they went back. They got the leather jackets, slicked their hair back. They grabbed him, and they looked at him and said, "Do I intimidate you now?" And they've got the role,
And they got their
right?
own,
So
really?
yeah,
That's a cool.
so
It's so funny. I mean, as much as I know about his career, I never heard that story. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and so 1976, Rocky is nominated, and I think we got a picture here. I think he carried home a little bit of hardware that night, right?
I mean, you could not even. It's almost like you get called up in the Major League Baseball stadium to
Yeah,
play in Game 7 of the World Series, and you hit the game-winning home run
yeah,
as a rookie or as a nobody, not even
hmm
a rookie,
no,
as a nobody to win Best Picture. Come on,
hmm
that's just
yeah, that he wrote.
ridiculous.
Let's get that out of the way right
Exactly,
away. That he
exactly.
wrote and he starred in, that nobody wanted him for the role,
No,
right?
we all
I
know
mean,
that story.
so the movie itself was a million to one shot. The actor was a million to one shot, right? And he
Sure.
knocked it out of the park, like you said, right?
Well, because I do believe it was semi autobiographical, and
Hmm.
it was also written so much from his heart and his inside that it was him. I mean, let's
Yeah.
face facts. He is Rocky. Rocky is him, and of
Hmm.
course, not to the fullest extent that we're talking, but for the most part, there is a lot of Rocky in him, and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
A lot of it was acting and taking on, but a lot of it was he lived that struggle. He
Hmm.
lived. I want to try to prove I'm not a bum from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
knew what that was like.
And I
He
think
didn't.
I think
Go ahead.
that's makes it sorry. I think that makes it more genuine, right? Because
Yeah.
like you said, he lived that life, right? He said one of his favorite, I think I've heard it say it a few times, when you're used to eating spiders, you have nothing. And this is where he came into, I'm going
Yeah.
to turn down this money. And people said, "How could you turn down this money? You're struggling. You sold your dog. You're going to get kicked out of your apartment." He goes, "I have nothing. I
Yeah.
have nothing now. What I can't have anything less.
Sure.
So if I sell this Rocky, if I give them this script and walk away, I'll never I'll just continue to be that mugger or the thug, right?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he stuck to his guns, and like I said, my hat is off to him for that. That's an amazing. You're right.
And I
I
think
don't know
we
anybody could
mentioned
do it.
we mentioned on one other episode, I forget which one it was, but it was made, for just under $1 million,
Hmm.
which in today's market that is about
Yeah.
$5 million. And it made, $216 million
Hmm.
or whatever it was. In today's market, that's $5 billion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so obviously, when they saw those kind of dollar figures, that the word sequel was coming out of their mouths the
Yeah.
second they won Best Picture. So there was no doubt there was going to be a Rocky 2.
That's
Now,
right.
whether there was a Rocky 3 or not is a whole other story, but
Hmm.
they knew
Well,
they had to have a Rocky 2.
yeah. I believe the original scripts, he had three scripts written. So he had Rocky. I almost said Rocky one there. Rocky, Rocky
That's a
two.
mortal sin, Tim.
Yeah, you get banned from the podcast, from your own podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I would. I banned you next week.
Rocky two, and Rocky three. It was supposed to be
Right.
a trilogy, and
Trilogy, yep.
then, but I'm awful glad he kept going. I think everybody is.
Oh, absolutely. That's he he had to keep going. I mean, so
Yeah.
many people like Balboa.
Hmm.
I mean, Creed wouldn't have happened. I mean,
No,
there's so much storyline that if it stopped at 3,
no, that's right.
what
And
would
then
have happened?
we get this great behind the scenes from Rocky four. I love this picture here.
Yeah,
You know, he's got the
that's a great shot.
camera, and he directing, you know, Rocky directing Rocky right
I
there.
mean,
That's
just think about how hard that is in general. Never mind
mhm.
as somebody that's,
Yeah.
by Rocky 4, he obviously had a little under his belt,
Mhm.
but to do all that as one person, I mean, you're
Yeah.
writing it, you're directing it, you're starring in it. You got to run over
Mhm.
here. Okay, action. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But he did have. There's so many films that get kind of swept. I don't want to say swept under the rug. I mean,
No.
true Stallone fans know them and love them.
Hmm.
But when people hear about Stallone, they automatically think about the action movies or
Yep.
just Rocky or just Rambo, whichever may be. I
That's
mean,
right.
Nighthawks, great
Hmm.
film, great
Yeah.
film. It was Victory
Hmm.
with the soccer team.
Yep.
Uh,
Paradise Alley. What about Paradise Alley? Right.
yep, yep,
Another
Paradise
underrated
Alley.
film. Hmm.
And then when he got into once he got into megastardom after Rocky 4, that's when Cobra and Over the Top and
Yeah.
uh,
Some of the fan favorites, right? So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like your songs. You go to your songs. You go to your list.
put on a
But
playlist.
if you dig back in the catalog and you look on your shelf, I know on my shelf, anyways, I have Victory, I have Fist, I have Paradise Alley. Right. Every once in a while, you just throw one of them on, and if you haven't seen those, you got to check them out. They are
Oh yeah,
phenomenal
I
movies.
love Lockup. I
Yeah,
love
Lock Up. Oh my goodness, Lock Up.
Cliffhanger.
Hmm.
Cliffhanger was a favorite of mine when
Yeah,
his I'd say maybe 85 to 95 time
yeah.
frame.
And I'll tell you another one that doesn't get nearly enough credit that people almost snicker at is Judge Dredd. Right. I love Judge Dredd. Now I might be biased, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's
It
action, it's
it
comedy.
is a good
You know.
film too, though. Yeah, it's got action, it's got comedy,
Yeah.
it's got a little bit of it all. It was comic book before the comic book,
Hmm.
mega
Yeah.
stratosphere came through.
Hmm.
I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. No, you got Demolition Man, right? You got ICU, which was Detox in, it's either Detox or ICU. They
Yeah,
had
and I
two
think
different
what
names
wasn't
for it.
that was that straight to video or was that
Yeah. No, I
a
believe it was straight to video, but it's another great movie, right? So but you mentioned Lockup. I know we're bouncing around all over the place, but
yeah? I
that's
mean,
that's
you
kind of
can't.
the feeling, right? You like this show today is just celebrating his accomplishment, what
Yeah,
he's given to us.
his work.
Um, not only what he's written, what he's directed. Um, well, he directed John Travolta, right?
Yeah, and
So,
Staying Alive. I mean, a
mhm,
sequel to Staying Alive, and that was pretty cool. And that's a small little cameo in that movie as
yep.
well
And we talked
on the
about that
street
on a
there.
previous show,
Uh-huh.
and I wonder if anybody has gone back and that did not know he
And
was in
checked
it
it out. Yeah,
and checked it out to see. We gave you a hint. It's right in the very beginning,
right in the beginning,
probably about 3 to 5 seconds. I think I say 3 seconds. If you
something like
blink,
that.
you're
I
gonna
mean, he's
miss it.
walking.
Yeah.
Travolta's walking, and you'll see
Bumps
him.
into you're gonna well,
You'll
I just
see
gave it
him.
away, but you're gonna see it.
And
Yeah,
but also too, look at all the impact he's had besides the films and besides the
right.
writing. I mean, he's done some voiceover stuff
Yeah,
with animation. He did,
yeah.
Ants.
Ants.
He did.
Oh, that was big
He
in my
did.
house, I tell you.
He did the Zookeeper. Remember, he
Yeah.
was
Hmm.
Lion, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's been in Spy Kids franchise. Oh, I mean, I guess that's another franchise, right? Is that would
I
you
guess
consider
you
that a
could
franchise?
say that, yeah. But
He's
I
in
mean,
he's
but
in a
he
couple
did
of them, right?
right, right.
So
And then the positive impact on the fitness world.
sure.
I know me
Yeah.
personally, when I saw Rocky, I don't know of any other 10-year-old that was asking for weights in a punching bag for
Hmm.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And he got me into going to the gym and being
Hmm.
fit and getting in shape and whatnot. I wouldn't say I didn't have a desire to, but I just played sports as a kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a desire to go to the gym. I
Hmm.
didn't care about that. And when I saw him and he was lifting weights and working out, and I said, "Oh well, that's how
Yeah.
you do it. Okay, I'll
That
do
looks pretty
that."
good. Looks
I
pretty
mean,
good.
he was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness probably a
Hmm.
dozen times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his workout routines are just legendary.
That's right. And now, so we've touched on a little bit of the writing, a little of the directing, obviously the actor. What about artist? Right? Put a picture
Yeah,
up
and that's
here.
something that he's very passionate about. He
Yeah.
loves his art. He I again,
Abstract
I
artist, excuse me, right?
yeah, and I don't know if he would say he was an artist first before a writer, or maybe a writer before an
Well,
artist. I think
I
he'd say
uh
either one.
I came across a little something in the archives here, and the point you just put up there, Tony, this may solidify that point. Look at this one here. This is one that he had done 50 years ago, Edgar Allan Poe, right?
50
And
years ago. So
50 years ago, he
he's
came across
26
that
years old.
when he painted that. That's unbelievable. I wonder where that's hanging right now.
And look how cool it is too. Look at all the
Yeah.
different colors, the different depictions of it.
Yeah. So now I remember watching, him interview about his art, and it was kind of his escape, right? Like he would paint how he felt, right? So he'd get, I think that's where I'm not an artist. I can't say this for sure, but maybe that's where you get the abstract from, is where you just paint. You don't have a plan when you get to canvas, and
Right.
you just let it bleed out of you, right? You
Right.
just, all your frustrations, all your hate, maybe your happiness. You might get one picture that starts out a certain way and ends
Right.
a dark way, or I I mean, it works, right? Because
No,
he's had a
same. I don't
collection of art.
understand it either because I am not an artist either.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
could
I
not.
like looking at it. I mean,
I love
you know
art. I
yeah,
I couldn't draw or paint or
yeah.
whatever for the life of me. And
I mean,
I
hey, art, right? Art right
exactly,
there. So,
exactly.
one of
I
my
mean, how cool
favorite,
was that scene?
one of
How
my
cool was that he just did that, from that
yeah.
scene.
I
So,
tell you something, when I saw that at the end of Rocky 3, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with that painting, and, that's one, if I we've all got the posters and the backgrounds, and it's fun to have Rocky posters and pictures and memorabilia. If I could choose one thing, it's that picture.
oh, really?
It's
Wow.
that. I think if they said, okay, you got to get rid of everything, it just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I was,
It
I
touched
was
you. That's it.
12
What it
years
is. It
old. I
touched
was 12 years old and I saw it, and just the build up where they're walking to the ring,
you.
and
Right.
just the two of them. There's nobody around. There's nobody around. It's just the two of them, and they're, Rocky saying, I thought you'd learn how to live with this. And Paul's like, I lied. You know,
Oh, you lied.
yeah, you lied. So you just got to prove, just that's right, Stallion. Just no TVs, no cameras, just you and me.
That's it.
It's an unbelievable, and those are his words, right? He wrote those words. He's directed that scene, right? So, uh, they get in the ring, and he says, "Well, how are you going to do that? You taught me everything, Apollo, almost everything, almost." So it's just the two of them,
He
and
played it so well.
yeah, they
Carl
both
Weathers.
played it right, right,
Oh, it's so perfect. It really was.
and
But
then
it's, yeah, I mean, that scene there was definitely because, I mean, throughout the movie, I don't know about you. I mean, when I saw it for the first time,
mhm,
I couldn't think of the favor he was going
yeah,
towards. I
yeah,
didn't think he wanted a behind the scenes, I mean, a behind closed door rematch.
that's
I
right,
never thought he was going
yeah,
there. I had no idea what he
yeah,
was
and he
thinking.
wouldn't tell Rocky, right?
No,
He says,
it
after this,
kept
you owe me a
building up
favor.
through the whole movie.
Yeah,
So
after
I
this,
had
I
no
mean, he
idea,
gave
but
him
that's one of my
then he gave
favorite
him the
scenes.
shorts, right? He gave him the colors. I can't wear the colors. The colors we wore in our first fight together. Says, you just make sure you wash them before you bring them back, right? Like, just the little things that he puts in the movies,
Yep.
right? And I don't know if Rocky 3 was a darker movie than 2, but because how it starts out, right? How he loses, and Mickey dies, and he doesn't want to fight, right? It goes pretty dark
Well, yeah, I mean, I
fairly
would say
fast,
it's
right?
darker, in
Yeah.
the case of, like you just said, I mean, loses Mickey.
Hmm.
It's not, it, Adrian went into a coma.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but she didn't die.
Yeah. Well, that
But I
was in
mean, I
2.
don't
That
know.
was in 2, but yeah.
It was definitely something that you didn't feel as confident about Rocky going into this film.
No,
I
that's right.
didn't anyway
Yeah.
when I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it for the first time in the theater,
Hmm.
and then when I saw Clubber Lang and Mr. T, I thought he connects Rocky's head's gonna fly off. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
this is just
Yeah.
he's a
Like I,
massive man.
like I said, he scared the hell out of me, right? I was 12 when I saw that, and I didn't see it in the theater, but I was thinking, this guy's a animal. Like, he's gonna destroy him.
Well, like Mickey says, he's a wrecking
Yeah.
machine, and
Yeah.
he's hungry, and he
Yeah.
was. He
Yeah.
was, yelling at everybody, yelling on the steps. He was just an angry force, and he was
Yeah.
almost like, how could you stop this guy?
Yeah. And
It's
then,
crazy.
they got the emotional connection, right? You got Rocky and Mickey, and Mickey's trying to get him to retire, and he says, horses retire, presidents retire, put you out to stud, kid. And Rocky comes back with, you know, you don't train me at everybody. I'm about a new pair of underwear in like 10 years. Okay.
And he
Just
could, but who
another
could?
line, eh?
But who could? Who could retire after, like he
Yeah.
said, I can't retire at knowing all this. How
Yeah. Yeah.
true is that? What
Yeah.
professional athlete on that level was just told that his manager was carrying him,
Yeah.
which he was.
Mhm.
Mickey's denying it, but he
Yeah.
was. And they weren't setups,
Yeah.
but let's face facts, they weren't fighters that could give him a run for his
No.
money.
No.
I don't know of any professional athletes that could do. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just not happening.
Mhm.
Not happening at all.
But
I mean, what's your? Can you think of a favorite scene outside of Rocky? Outside of the Rocky movies,
outside of Rocky
or the
movies,
Rambo movies,
like Rambo movie, well, I'm a big fan
or
of First Blood
or
Part
even
2
just
where he
in
comes out of
general,
the
just the other
yeah,
movies.
I'll tell you one of the scenes. First Blood Part 2, and we touched on this last week in our Rambo series. When he comes out of the mud, when he comes out of the mud wall, they're looking for him in the jungle, and all of a sudden the eyes open up and he's in the mud, and he comes out and he strangles the guy. I was blown away when I saw
And
that.
I
I
don't know
was like,
about you, but
"Holy
I didn't
Jesus!"
see him there until he opened his eyes.
No, you know what? I've seen First Blood Part 2 more than twice. uh, I know he's there, but I
Sure.
still kind of think it's like when you're watching Rocky
Right.
2, and you're like, come on, get up, Rock. You get
Get up.
caught up in it.
Get up.
You get
You
caught up in
do.
the movies. That's why these movies hold up. That's why
Oh, of
50
course.
years from now, people are going to be watching Rocky 3. You could put Rocky 3 in the theater right now, and people will be cheering when he
Yep.
wins the belt back. You know what I mean? It's just that there's certain movies that hold up. You can go to a movie and say, that was a good movie. There's certain movies where you're like, I'm going to go watch that again, or I can't
Yeah.
wait to get that or buy it
Can't wait.
on
Yeah.
DVD or
Can't wait to see it again or
yeah,
whatever. It makes more of an
VHS.
impact.
If I can date
I mean,
myself.
he's had some good good other films
Yeah.
outside of Rocky or Rambo.
Yeah.
I'd have to say maybe Lock Up and Cliffhanger would be
Yeah.
two of my favorites
Mhm.
as far as an action style movie.
Sure.
Because I loved Copland
Yeah.
as far as the acting and the story went.
Yeah. I think he should have won something for Copland.
I'm sure you and a lot of other people,
Not
including
not
myself.
because well, first of all, he's completely different in this, right? He puts on a bunch of weight, purposely puts on weight.
Yeah, and he
Right?
said that was actually hard for him. He said it
Yeah.
was tough for him to do
Well, at
that.
the beginning, I think he said at the beginning, but then all of a sudden you realize I'm eating pancakes and ice cream every morning for breakfast and bacon and syrup. And he goes,
Yep.
it's not bad, but he says to switch back.
Yeah.
That got hard. It
Yeah.
got like, he realizes the struggle. And I think that's why people relate to him. I recently heard him say that, I wanted to build a body that people could attain, right?
Right.
You look at him, he's not a bodybuilder. He's not
Right.
like Schwarzenegger was, right? But he worked out with the bodybuilders. He worked
Yeah.
out
Oh,
with
yeah.
Schwarzenegger. He
Franco
worked out with
Columbo.
Franco Columbo, right?
Yep.
And these
Yep.
guys won Mr. Olympia contests. They won Mr. Universe contests. These guys, that's all they did was live in the gym. And they said they
Yep.
didn't, Sly would come in and push it and push it and push it. And, that's something that they were like, this guy doesn't stop. He doesn't stop in the gym.
No.
Right. So, I don't think he was, I don't want to say, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth. He was never happy with his body, but he was always changing it. And he was always saying, okay, for this role, I want to look this way. For this role, I
Right.
want to that way.
Right.
That's a bit of the director in him, right?
Mhm.
That's a bit of the writer in him. He had a vision. So
Right.
First Blood Part 2 and Rocky 3, he wanted to look thinner. He wanted to look like a middleweight. He wanted to look
Right.
like the POW in First Blood,
Right.
right? So to me, you're never happy. You're never satisfied. And that's what draws me to this
Well,
superstar.
think about it. I mean, you talked about Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbo.
Mhm.
Look at their bodies from each
Yeah.
competition. Like,
Yeah.
how could you improve on that? Your perfection, you're Mr.
Mhm.
Olympia. But they did.
Yep. Mhm.
They did
Mhm.
improve on it. So it's just the way that mindset is when you're at
Yeah.
that level.
Yeah. No, that's
You're
right.
at that level. But yeah, it's and that's why I also too like the fact of I wouldn't say like the Cliffhanger or Lockup or those types of film threw his physique in your
No.
face as
Yeah.
much as Rambo did.
Well, and since we're on that subject, and we're talking scenes, I still have this scene doesn't go far from my computer. Okay. Right here. This is one of my favorite scenes in any movie is the stick fighting scene. Like
Yeah.
he is jacked, people.
Yeah.
Like he's an
Yeah.
animal,
I mean,
right? I believe he said he was in the best shape of his life for this role. And rightly so. You can see it there
Oh yeah,
on
he
film.
was probably. I mean, probably looking at like 4% body fat, something along those
Yeah,
lines.
he was incredible. Another scene, I go to Cobra. I go to Cobra. I'm a huge fan of Cobra, and
Yeah,
I wish he had done. I don't know if there was more material for another one, but when he goes into the grocery store at the first of the movie, and he says he comes in and he says the guy says bring those cameras in here. He says I can't do that. He says I'll blow this whole place up. And he goes go ahead. I don't shop here. Like it's
those were the movies
unbelievable.
that were always, as soon as
Yeah,
Arnold said, "I'll be back," that was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Everybody had the tagline.
That's your '80s cheese
Yeah,
right there,
but
right? So
but it was. I mean, you could have definitely done a few Cobras. I mean, it was
yeah,
just a cop story. It was no different
yeah.
than Lethal Weapon.
No, that's right.
You could definitely have done 3 or 4 of them if they
Yeah,
chose.
yeah.
Plus, he had a really cool car.
And
So,
cool car, but he would have had to get a different one after he totaled it,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
he's been in some, when you look at Cobra, you look at the Expendables, right? It's a good car chase scene. So he's really mixed it up, right? So he's tried his hand at comedy. Some of it has worked. Some of it maybe depends on what your taste is.
Right.
Has not, right? Um, Country singer and Rhinestone. I think we all remember that role with Dolly
Oh,
Parton,
yeah. Well,
right?
I
That was a
think
pretty
that's
big
just
role.
I think it's just any actor. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Robin Williams.
sure.
Look at Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Both of them were known for their funny slapstick comedy
hmm
films,
hmm
and they
And
go
then
on
they
to
did
win
something
Best
serious.
Actor in dramatic roles. I mean, they just get tired of doing the same old funny little thing. Let's see what else I could do.
Yeah.
How could I better
Yeah.
myself as an actor?
Yeah.
So I get that part. And now you're the action film. You want to do
Sure.
the comedy, and then that's
hmm
why he went also to dramatic roles when he did Copland. I
Yeah.
want to show people I can act,
Yep. That's right.
and just
So,
like
but
in
and
Creed.
like Copland, oh, that was just and the thing is, he worked with a huge cast, right? So it just wasn't him. So, but he really stuck out, I think, in that one
But the role he
in
played,
Copland.
I think you could
Yeah.
relate. I mean, we everybody knows the story
hmm
of the role he played. I mean, he was, he couldn't hear in the one ear because he rescued the girl that he
Yeah.
liked, and he couldn't go on the department in New York City, so he
Yeah.
this little town that
Yeah.
everybody lives, all the cops live in,
And they think
and
they're cops, so they're
yeah, they're above the law in that little
in the
town,
town, right?
and
So he's
but
a sheriff.
but
That's great.
he reflects that, like the one scene where he had a little too much to drink, and he's
Yep.
playing pinball.
Yeah.
He's got flip flops on and
He
he's
goes
playing
and
pinball.
opens the parking meter and takes all the money. That's where the money goes, everyone. If you don't know, when you feed the parking machine, it's for the cops that can. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get in trouble here. So
Yeah,
you feed the
exactly.
pinball machines, right? So, but yeah, no,
Good
it's good.
scene. Good scene though.
hmm
And then I was surprised later on too that he did Grudge Match, uh,
Yeah,
only
I,
because I never thought he would do a boxing movie that wasn't Rocky,
yeah.
because
I
everybody would
really
just say it's
enjoyed. I
Rocky.
really enjoyed it. You got Kevin Hart, right? So he's bringing in. I mean, you got De Niro, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
and then you got
It
Kevin
was in
Hart. So the Kevin
Copland.
Hart's is kind of like obviously he's a lot newer, but it was that really nice mix, a little bit of comedy. You got some fighting scenes, you got the training scenes. I like the story, I like the background, right? It worked because it was two
No,
fighters
I
30
agree.
years ago. Because you got to remember, these guys, they fought 30 years ago, hate each other's guts, right? And he didn't want to fight. That was one thing he wanted
Which
to take away
there's
from.
probably some guys out there like that
Yeah.
they fought.
Oh, I'm sure there's a couple of boxers that would say, you know what, let's get it. Hagler and Hearns, I bet you if you ask them, you want to
Yeah.
go? Yeah, a fighter's a fighter,
Let's
right?
go one more.
All day long. Let's go one more round. So, but
Too
no, you're
much.
right. There's some really good like Death Race 2000. That doesn't get mentioned ever, right? So, um you touched on Victory and we touched on Fist a little bit. So,
And
I
that was
mean, people
before
go
Rocky.
that was before Rocky, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Where he had the machine gun.
yep. So that was there's some I like that he's allowed himself to expose himself to different roles, right? So he's not going to go down as, oh, you're Rocky, the punch drunk boxer. I
Right.
remember you. Like
Right.
I don't think people realize I apologize for that. I don't think some people realize that he's writing and he's directing, he's acting.
Some
He's
people do,
playing
and
that boxer, right?
other people, there's always going to be a large group of people
Yeah,
that think he's just the action star. Oh, you're
sure.
the '80s action guy.
Hmm.
You're Rocky. You're the blow him up. Same thing with Arnold, and Arnold's
Yeah.
done a ton of stuff too.
Hmm.
But he's always going to be known as the action guy. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
what it is. And I think
Yep.
that's probably how, I'm assuming, of course, Expendable started. They
Yeah.
might have been sitting around just chatting like we are right now,
Hmm.
and we're always going to be known as the action guys. Well, let's get a bunch of us together and make an action movie, and just have some fun.
I I I tend to I'm a big Expendables fan, and I tend to think that they they were right. They were sitting around and they're out of ideas in Hollywood, right? So
Yeah.
they're kind of
Oh,
just doing redos. There's nothing wrong with the remakes. Some of the
no,
movies
there's
that they
not.
did
But
before remakes,
have
but
some originality.
yeah, but these guys were the biggest action stars in the 80s, and to get them all in one series, right? Or
Yeah.
one movie or a couple
Right.
movies, right?
Right.
And not only that, like to get the screen time for some of them. This he directed that, right? And he I believe he wrote The Expendables. So he's getting everybody a bit of screen time, so it's not just focused on him, right? Like he's in a team this time. He's not Rambo. He's not going in all by himself.
Right.
He's relying on the team, and it's not like a perfect. They're not perfect every time, right? So they're older. Like and they say that like it'll get
Mhm.
to us. It gets to everybody. The life will get to us.
Yeah.
That's I think and they're gonna
Which
do
it
another
did.
one,
I mean,
right?
look at Rambo: Last Blood.
Yeah.
He couldn't do the things like he did when
No.
he was even in Rambo in 2008.
Yeah. John Rambo. Yeah.
That was a very different Rambo, and then of course, 2 and 3 were
Hmm.
comic book Rambo.
Yeah. I
Nothing
still I
against them.
still love I still love Rambo 3. Like I understand it doesn't get a lot of credit compared to First Blood.
Mhm.
Those are two movies. To me, you just want to shut your brain off and enjoy a movie, enjoy the action,
Well, it's
right?
kind of like Rocky 3 and 4
Yeah.
compared to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Rocky. Oh, I said 1, Tim. You didn't call me out on that. See,
I knew
Right.
I knew you'd catch yourself.
But I mean, Rocky and Rocky 2. I mean, I don't compare any of them to Rocky, with the
Sure.
exception of maybe Balboa.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
not fair. And 3
Yeah.
and 4 were on a different level, and not
Hmm.
including the director's cut of 4. 4,
Hmm.
like everybody has said, it's a MTV movie,
Yeah.
with these larger than life muscle guys, and
Yeah. And the
so
music and
it
right,
was what
the
it was. And
montage.
let's face it, and financially, it was the most successful of the
Hmm.
series.
Hmm.
Obviously, it did something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't compare that to Rocky. It's just
No.
like you can't compare that Rambo 3 to First Blood.
No, that's right.
It's just
Yeah.
not a comparable story, and
Hmm.
it's not. He wasn't at that level yet where he was just larger than life.
Yeah.
It was more of a. I just want to get something to eat. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me cross this bridge. Just leave me be.
Yeah. That's right. All he wanted people was something to eat, right?
That's it.
But he
That's all I
he kept
wanted.
pushing. A king shit cop wouldn't leave it alone, right? So another great line. So I mean, give me some of your favorite lines from Sly movies.
Favorite line?
Anything, Rocky,
I would say it's
Rambo, whatever.
yeah. Well, I'm not going to go
What
with
sticks
Rocky.
out?
I
What?
mean,
Yeah, no. What sticks out in your mind? Anything else like cliffhanger, like
yeah, I'm not going to
Rambo?
touch Rocky. I mean, everybody
Yeah,
that knows me knows my favorite Rocky quote.
yeah, yeah,
But there's numerous lines in the Rocky saga that I love. But
yeah. I
I'd
and
rather go
what about?
outside the box.
But what about the characters around him, like Polly, right, and Adrian, right? So I don't think anybody's ever gonna forget when Polly pulls out the turkey out of the oven in Rocky. And he rips off the leg and
Yeah.
throws the bird out in the alley. You want the bird? Go out in the alley and eat the bird, right? So, or
That's why I hope he does a prequel to Rocky,
yeah,
because I really need to know like how Rocky and Paulie became
yeah,
friends. How
yeah,
does he even put up with him? Like he was saying in Rocky 3, we grew up in the same neighborhood. You
yeah,
forget. I
yeah,
was the one that got your first girl, and all
yeah.
this
Well,
stuff.
that's right. We first meet Polly in the bathroom at
Yeah,
Andy's bar, right?
yeah.
And he comes in and he says, "I like to kill the freaking moron that broke the mirror." He goes, "Let's get out of the stink, would you?" He goes, "Every day, every night, I pass by your sister. I tell her a joke. Forget her, you know." And he says, I set you up with the first girl. She was pregnant, right? And that's what he said. There's
So
no crowd. There's no crowd
so
around you either. So were they just two buddies from back in the day, right?
they kind of were. I mean, they were,
Yeah.
they were let's face facts, Rocky was a
Mm.
bump from the neighborhood at the
Yeah,
time.
sure. Yeah.
And, Paulie, I'm sure, was not much on a notch higher
Yeah.
at all, if not notches below. At least Rocky had a heart. Paulie did. He was pissed off at everybody.
No, that's right. That's like I said. I would love to ask Sly. Like, I'd like to see the notebooks. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see all the little, like, who he puts in what dialogue. Did he scratch this out? Did he put this in? Just the little things that
And also,
Paulie added.
you could see why they became the way they did.
Yeah.
Like, you could see why Paulie, like, you first meet him, he's mad.
Yeah.
So I mean, why is he always so angry? What happened to him?
Yeah.
And there's a picture of Paulie on the table when Rocky goes to the house for Thanksgiving, and he's in some type of military uniform.
Yeah, looks like a Navy. Yep.
So he obviously was in the military, even if it was a short period of time.
Yep.
I would love to see the connection, but he brought him back around to be human.
Sure.
In the beginning of Balboa, when he says he doesn't want to live in the past, you treated her good, I treated her bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to remember those things. He knows.
That's
he
right.
knows what he did.
Yeah.
He knows he treated his sister horrible.
You still get like in Balboa, right? Like he still get, are you mad because Adrian left you? He's that one friend. Everybody's got one or two friends that, you love them. You hang out with them, but they drive you friggin' crazy. It's like, what? Like, did you really just say that?
Well, I love him in that Stallone in that scene, because he just takes that deep breath. He looks like he's about to burst in tears or rip Paulie's head off his shoulders.
Yeah. He does. He does start crying.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, Rocco. Okay.
He does actually start to shed a tear when he starts talking about it, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, once he started talking about it.
Yeah.
But when he first says, are you mad she left you? He's like, she died, Paulie. And then he's like, okay, Rocco. Okay.
Yeah. He knows that he's pushed it too far again. Yeah. Right. So,
but I drifted away from your question. I like I said, I did like cliffhanger and lockup. I do like the opening scene. Again, we're not giving anything away, guys. It's a very old movie. When he's, he looks down at her, he's like, "Look at me, you're not gonna die."
Yeah.
I mean, it opens up with a bang. So
wow, I did see cliffhanger in the theater, and I think there was a gasp in the theater.
Because let's face it, did you think he was going to drop her?
No,
or fall?
Not,
whatever.
I mean, you're 5 minutes in, and I don't want to use minutes in a movie, but you're sitting down. The movie starts.
The credits just ended.
They're on this cliff, and then it just goes south. Right? It just goes south, and I'm thinking, what just happened?
I know.
Like, what just happened? And I mean, it changed the whole.
I mean,
obviously, where I thought it was going. That's right. Yeah, sure.
It had to for the storyline. That's why he left the town and stuff like that. But it's that's one of my favorite ones. And Lockup too, I liked. It was just, I like the Longest Yard movie, the original. Excuse me. So I like that little. I hate to say camaraderie. They're prisoners, but they had that little camaraderie of their own little group, working on a Mustang and stuff, and the football
playing
game.
Football,
working out. Film, real good.
No, it was good. And I mean, Donald Sutherland, right? He played such a good role in that.
How could you not hate him in that movie?
You just hate him. You just hate him. When you don't like characters, by the end of the movie, you know that they really nailed their role, right? So,
well, that's the thing. I mean, when you do hate a character, they're doing their job. They're
that's right.
To the T. You're not supposed to. Oh, he's okay. Well, look at Apollo.
Yeah,
I didn't hate Apollo in Rocky. When Rocky was fighting him, and he was, fight him at the end. I wanted Rocky to win, but I didn't hate him.
Nope.
I was a different feeling in Rocky 2 when he was getting a little more serious and a little more mouthy, but I still didn't hate him.
Yeah.
Mr. T, I hated.
Yeah.
Mr. T, I hated.
Yeah.
Ivan Drago, I hated. And Ivan Drago, I hated, I think, for different reasons, because he only said about 6 words. So how could you hate him? But I think that's why I hated him. He was just like this cocky, just standing there guy. And it was just, but they did their job. They acted it perfectly to the T.
Yeah. He just come in and he was, fight and just, there was not a lot of dialogue, right, from him. Drago, that is.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Well, Sly, we could sit here and talk for hours and hours about your career. I hope
Oh
you're
my
watching.
goodness, yeah. Like
I hope
so,
you're
I mean, but he's certainly not done. So, like I said, I touched on November. We got a big one. Everybody is waiting for
I
this,
am so looking forward to this
right?
series
hmm
so
Well,
much.
anybody that's watched Yellowstone and they
It's
know that
funny you said that.
the same people that have their handprints all
Yeah,
over
it's
this one.
funny you said that because just Friday, I think it was.
hmm
I don't remember what day it was. It was only a couple days ago.
hmm
Mrs. Stallion and I started watching Yellowstone
Sure.
because I told
Okay.
you I got the Paramount. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you know what? I've heard everybody talk about
Oh
Yellowstone."
yeah, it's so
So
good.
we're on season 1,
hmm
episode 5.
Okay.
So obviously a lot to go because there's 4
Yeah.
seasons,
Yeah. So
10 episodes a
you've
season.
met Rip Wheeler.
But
You
I
know,
could
you've been
see,
introduced to him.
yeah, I could see the writing and the
hmm
storyline and the acting.
hmm
If that is that good, I can only imagine what this is going to be like.
Yeah.
And I see people too also saying, "Oh, let's have a Tulsa King Yellowstone crossover. Let's
hmm
have them, somehow get
Yeah.
connected."
Yeah.
I mean, Montana's not really close to Oklahoma, but who
hmm
knows? Maybe they
I
have it for
I
some reason.
can I can see it. I watched Yellowstone. I watched everything that they put out. I'm all caught up to date.
Oh, we were on
Um.
episode 3. I said I only saw 5 of them, but by
Yeah.
episode 3, I told my wife this is Godfather with cowboy
Yeah.
hats.
Yeah. Sure.
It was
So
just it was but he yeah,
yeah.
I'm really really looking forward to
Anybody
this
that needs
series
a
here.
reminder, set
Fall
your
TV.
set your VCRs if you still have any. No, everybody's got the Paramount Plus. If you don't have Paramount Plus, go and jump on it.
Yeah, go get it now.
You're not going to want to miss this one, right? So,
You might have to
no,
have Rick make you a Tulsa King sign there
that's right.
behind you.
So, that's right. So behind me and behind the stallion, right there.
Right,
We're gonna
right.
jump around here. A good friend, Rick Babcock.
Lines up there.
Yeah,
There it
Rocco
is.
Bob 33. I'm gonna put a picture up here. Check this out here.
Yeah,
This is
that
some
was
of
the
his
first one I
handiwork
got.
here.
That was the first one I got.
Yeah. So he does these incredible street signs, and as few of you may have figured out, Tony is very meticulous in what he likes on his signs. He will work with you. He's really
He's
good.
saying I'm
If he
very
doesn't,
particular.
yeah. He here's some more of your signs here.
No, he will, and he's very cool
Yeah.
about what you want on the sign. Like when he first did the Thunderlip sign for me,
Yeah.
I didn't like the font on it and the way
Right.
it was written and stuff. And I
Yeah.
just asked him, I said, "Were there other fonts you could show me?" And he
Yeah.
did, and I liked that one, and there we
Yeah.
went with it. Yeah, I have a little OCD psychoness to me, that I like everything very meticulous and professional and the
Yeah.
way I want it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Uh,
You got a bit of the sly in you, right? I'm
maybe I
sure that
do.
when he's directing, when he's writing, he has a vision. He's like, no, we're gonna do it this way. I from what I've heard, he's unbelievable on set, right? Like nobody works harder.
Yeah,
Whether
oh, I can see that.
he's in it, whether he's the actor, whether he's writing it, whether he's directing,
Right.
or all three, he's gonna do it the way he wants to do it, and we're gonna get it done right. So,
And
and
it's more
obviously,
so, I would say anyway, again, I'm not in his shoes, but I am the way I am with a lot of things in my
mhm,
whatever I do. If I don't, it's not a question of even my way. It's more of a question of making it be as perfect as it could be.
sure,
And maybe my opinion or somebody else's opinion, but I'd rather it be, look, let's make it this way so it could be a little bit better or a
mhm,
little bit whatever I'm looking for. So I could understand why he would just be the way he is. But
mhm,
yeah, Rick makes amazing signs. They are real street signs, so they are reflective. They hang up on the wall pretty easy with those
mhm.
3M Velcro strips. That's what I use anyway.
Yep.
Uh, but Rick's going to have a lot more time on his hands to make signs, guys, because
Yeah, he's
Rick
retired
is
now.
retired. Yeah, good for him.
Congratulations, Rick.
Yeah, good for
We
you,
hope
brother.
you and Deb enjoy your retirement. I'm sure she's got lots of jobs for you around the
I
house
don't know if
now.
Deb's going to enjoy it. He's home now all the time, so Deb might.
Well, you know what? You get him down there making signs, and
Yeah,
we'll pump his tires a little bit. Get him busy making signs down in the
I got some
shop.
shirts I need you to make,
Yeah, we
Rick.
need a. I think we need a round 14 podcast sign.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to him about that. I said, let's get a
hmm
little logo going. Let's see what we can do here.
Yeah,
We might have to wait, and maybe if the audience members are starting to increase, maybe they want one.
yeah,
But yeah, I would love to get a street sign up
yeah.
there with that. That'd be cool.
Rocco Bob 33. that's a handle right there, right? As Apollo Creed would say, sounds like a damn monster movie, right? That's another
I
classic
love that
line.
line.
I love it, right? So,
Apollo Creed versus the
and that
Italians.
the funny thing was, it was the name, man. It's the name, right?
That's
Duke
it.
says, no, no, no. I don't want you fighting southpaws. You do everything backwards. I don't want you. He goes, I don't care. Drop him in 3. Like he just didn't even
Well, because
want
he
to know
played
about
that
him,
part.
right?
I mean, we all know
Yeah,
that it was based on Muhammad Ali, and he
yeah,
played it to the T. I
yeah,
mean, you could you see Muhammad Ali going, "Oh, wait, yeah, he
yeah,
is a southpaw. Let me think about that." No
yeah,
way. I'm
yeah,
dropping him. He's pointing the glove. I mean, he played it to the letter. He was
yeah,
so
yeah.
perfect in
That's
that.
right. No, it was so good. And then, the scene where Duke is watching Rocky pound the meat,
Oh,
and he says, "You better come over here and look at this boy you're fighting."
man, he
He
means
goes, "Yeah,
business.
yeah, yeah. So do I." And
Yeah.
he's ordering flowers for the mayor's wife, and he's getting more
Well,
coffee, and
because he thinks
he
it's all publicity
well,
stunt.
so I mean, we see Rocky do this in Rocky 3, right? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Rent the schmooze fest, and
Yep.
he's got fans in there training, and he's got a
Yep.
band playing, and bubbles are flying in the air, and
Mickey pops the bubble.
Mickey's about to like have an aneurysm, right? Like,
He's all mad.
I don't want to say this pushed him over the edge a little bit, but like he's gonna like I don't want to say he's
So
gonna have a
maybe
heart
Rocky
attack
has
and
something
die.
to do with that.
No, but you can see the frustration, right? You can tell, first of all, he
Yeah.
doesn't want him fighting, doesn't think he's ready, and certainly he's not showing that he's ready.
No.
But we all know how a 3 ends, and with the
Yep.
favor, and
Yep.
but yeah, there's some great stuff that he's done. There's great stuff coming. So, like I said, Expendables 4 coming out. I'm excited for that. One more ride with the boys, right? So
Yep.
it would appear, because he wasn't on set as much, he may not be in the whole thing, but
Yeah,
he's
we
going to be in
talked
it.
about this one episode. I remember when, like I said, I think he's gonna take
Sure.
over the Bruce Willis role
Yeah.
where he just kinda came in,
Yeah.
directed, bolted,
Well,
but who knows? We'll
I
see.
think, and then I think you don't see him at the beginning, and then they call him back into action. That's my theory, and I could be
I
way
mean, that's
off.
a great theory, the
Yeah.
young kids are starting to do it,
Yeah.
and then they gotta make the phone call and
But
send,
you know what? Leave us your opinion in the chat. We'd love to hear what you guys think.
yeah,
You guys are we read all your comments, and Tony and I go back and forth and some ideas, and tell us what your favorite scene was from Rocky, Rambo, cliffhanger. I don't know. Like,
any of them,
there's so many guys.
any of them.
Obviously, Rocky and Rambo are gonna. We've touched on that. They're gonna
Yeah,
be
and I mean, there's
the
so
top of
many
the
we
list,
didn't
right?
mention, the specialist, the assassin,
Yeah,
Daylight,
yeah.
Get Carter. I mean,
Hmm.
you could just that's why I said, Sly, we could talk we've been talking for
Yeah.
almost an hour. We can go another hour.
Get
Uh,
Carter. It's funny you mentioned that. Get Carter was it almost. I don't know if he's drawn a little bit of Get Carter into the Tulsa King, but that whole,
that's how he
like
looks, yeah,
like the mob, the
yeah,
suit and
yep.
the goatee and
Sharkskin suit,
the glasses, and he says, "I'm Jack Carter,
goatee, the
and you
goatee,
don't want to know me," right? Like,
yep,
he was just, it was such a different, just a 180 almost compared to
yeah,
what he did before.
yeah,
And I remember, it doesn't get a lot of recognition, right? Like you said, everybody goes to Rocky, everybody
and
goes to
that's a
Rambo.
remake though now. You
Yeah,
know that.
sure. Yeah, it is
That's
a
a
remake.
remake.
Michael
Yeah,
Caine, right? Was it
yep,
Michael Caine
yep,
who was
yep,
in Get Carter? That's what I like about
yep.
the remakes that they
He was
do.
the character. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the Stallion, you've got to watch the Longest Yard remake.
I
Um,
did. I
oh, you
did.
did watch it.
I've been doing my homework because we're gonna
Okay.
be doing
Okay.
the
And
remakes
what did you think?
episode.
What did you think of that?
We're gonna hold it for the remake
Okay.
episode,
All right.
remember?
Good.
So,
Good.
but I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
I did Longest Yard. I did Footloose.
Hmm.
I think tomorrow night's Point Break.
Yeah.
We'll see. So yeah, I'm doing my homework.
Oh, that's good. No, and you know what? Is there any better homework than watching a movie?
I
Right?
know.
Like,
Looking up trivia questions. That's my
looking up
homework
trivia
too.
questions. Oh, trivia. It's funny you mentioned
Trivia.
that. Well, let me see here if I can pull up my retro
Gotta get
trivia.
we gotta get the little music
Yeah,
going
I
next time.
I apologize.
We gotta get some 80s
Yeah.
80s trivia
Well,
music. I
if
don't
you
even know what
can't
that
hear the
is,
music,
but we'll
if you
get it.
can't hear that picture, there's something wrong with you, right? Anybody that grew up in the 80s sees that and immediately flashes back to their roller rink or 5-pin bowling or um you know. So, okay. Are you up or am I up for the trivia?
Um, I'll ask the first one. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So since obviously it's an all Sly episode.
And again, I just want to touch on, we did not set this up. This is not we don't do this. We have a little, I'm gonna go Hollywood on this one because we're doing Sly. We have a little production meeting before our show, and just to make us feel like directors and writers, because this is the Sly episode. But we don't want to just come in and just sit here and go, what do you want
we
to
don't
talk
want to
about?
just press record.
What do you want to talk
okay.
about? So no, we kind of go over what we want to talk about, and I think that's like anything, any kind of, if you are acting professional, which we're certainly not professionals, but we're having a good time.
We're having fun.
We do not go over these questions, so we're going in blind. So if you watched last week's episode, and if you haven't, it's on YouTube right now.
Yep.
He got me with a Karate Kid question.
Yeah.
So, and
well,
then
you got me too.
The funny thing was, the Karate Kid was on, I think 2 days later, and I saw that scene. I'm like, son of a how did I not know that? So yeah,
I was shocked you got. I was shocked you missed that one. I really was.
So
all
go
right,
ahead,
so the
fire away.
First Sly question I have is, there is a what movie? I'll give you a multiple choice.
Okay,
how about that?
Yeah, I like
all
that.
Right?
I'm gonna pick C.
Okay.
When in doubt,
what movie
pick C.
Did Sly not write?
Ooh,
Lock Up, Rambo, Cliffhanger, or Rocky? Threw that in there as a little givey.
Yeah, Lock Up.
That is correct.
Yeah,
that is correct.
And listen, I'm gonna come clean on this one. The only reason I was so fast with that, I had the same question.
Oh, no way!
I swear, it's right here. It's right here. I'm gonna prove it to you.
God.
Right on the bottom.
Oh, that's so
right
funny.
on the bottom. Right there. If you can read my chicken scratches, it is not.
Is so
it is
funny.
Not, I swear that was one of the questions I thought I'm gonna get him this week, and then boom. So yeah, Lock Up. He did not write.
Hysterical. All right. Well, we'll try number 2. See.
Okay.
Hopefully you don't have the second question either.
And this was not scripted either, folks.
Yeah. Exactly. I would have. I was torn between Cliffhanger and Lock Up. I didn't know which one. I probably would have went Cliffhanger if I had a guess, but I wasn't sure. All right. Sly's directorial debut was in what movie? Was making what movie?
Really?
You don't have that question, do you? Really?
Paradise Alley, because that was my first question, Tony. Right there. Okay.
Stop.
I'm not kidding. Paradise Alley.
Oh my goodness.
What was Sly's first directed movie? And it was Paradise Alley.
What am I gonna do with you?
I'm not.
You know what? You know what we have to do next time? Well, you know why this is funny is because every time we do trivia, we have 2 different subjects.
That's right. That's right.
So we can't get the same ones.
Okay, go ahead. Number 3.
All right, well, might as well go for it now.
Yeah.
Sly, what movie did Sly play Sergeant Joe Bumowski?
Ooh. Okay, I do not have that one as a question, but I think I know the answer. Sorry, what was his name again?
Sergeant Joe Bumowski.
Yeah, that would be, I'm going to say Victory.
Sergeant Joe Bumowski is not Victory.
No, it isn't. Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah. It is. Drum roll, please. Stop or my mom will shoot.
Wow. Good. Yeah. Okay. You're right. So, you know what? I immediately thought it was a Victory because they were in the army for that movie.
They were POWs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, you got me. Yeah. No, it's now listen, I've seen Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I've seen it a couple times. It's a cutesy movie.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the first one I'm going to grab.
No. Sly. I'm sorry we brought that up.
Yeah, but
I know how passionate you are about that movie.
You know what? It was a good movie. It was a fun movie. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse, right? So, okay, you got me.
All right, so we got. I'll ask 2 more since I had the first 2 were duds. What movie? I'm sorry. How many Oscar nominations did Rocky get, and how many did they win?
Okay. I think they were. I'm going to say they were nominated for 5. I'm going to say 5. They were nominated, but they won. They won 3. Obviously, won Best Picture. They won I think they won. I think they won for best sound. Is it soundtrack? Is that even an Oscar?
That is an Oscar. Yeah.
I'm gonna say sound, and I'm gonna say, Jesus, this is bad. That if I'm gonna get this wrong, you're gonna take me off the air. I'm gonna say editing.
Well, you almost had it.
Yeah.
It was 11 nominations.
Screenplay. 11
Yeah,
nominations.
11
Really?
nominations. Well, because
Yeah.
they all got. I mean,
Yeah.
Italian
Okay.
Fire was nominated. Burt Young was nominated. But
yeah. Okay.
and they did 1-3. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Sly was obviously nominated for Best Actor, which he
Yeah.
was nominated again for Creed, Best Actor for the same role, which 40 something years apart.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they won. They did win 3. You're right. They won Best Picture. And they won Best Editing.
Okay, so I got 2.
You got 2, and the other was Best Screenplay.
Screenplay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was close.
Should
have won. Well, they should have goddamn well won for the friggin' music.
Oh God,
right?
absolutely.
Come on. Like, how do you sit there and Bill Conti is sitting there and you don't give it to him? Even if I'm presenting the envelope, I'm just gonna say Bill Conti. I'm giving it to Bill Conti. Sorry. I don't know who won. I don't know who won that year, but it could have been better than Rocky.
Well, it depends on, because don't they have like,
that's my rant. Sorry, everyone.
They have best music. I forget how it's worded, but it's somehow it's best music or something, best soundtrack, and then there's like a best song, whatever it may be.
Again, right? It's 1976. What could possibly be better than that?
I'd have to look it up to see for our next episode. I don't know.
And I apologize for the person that did win. So congratulations to whoever you did.
You worked hard and you earned it, but
you beat out Rocky. That's
better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how does it not win? You know, how does it not win Best Director? How does it not win Best Actor?
Yeah.
But again, maybe we are biased.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So obviously, I took away 2 of your questions. Sorry.
Okay. So do you have any more? Or is that it?
No. That's it. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got first. I'm going to start off with a slam dunk. What restaurant franchise did Sly acquire?
Oh, okay. That is a slam dunk. Planet Hollywood.
All right. Just warming. It's like stretching, right? You can't. You can't just go start running. You got to get
a little bit.
Okay. Well, you threw me off because you stole some of my questions. So, like my first.
I couldn't believe you had those.
Okay. Well, I have a question that I can't use now because you sort of asked it. I was going to ask. Did Sly win for Best Actor? True or false? And obviously it's false, right? So that was a slam. That was stretching the legs out. All right. Jesus, do I not? Okay. Rocky. We'll do a Rocky question. Rocky related question.
Okay.
So obviously in the movie and the characters, and depends on what movie you get, the Marvel movies, and it's all makeup and artists. And where did Sly get the fedora that he uses in Rocky?
Oh, it was in, I don't know the name of the place, but it was in just some 5 and dime thrift shop type place, I believe.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. So, and that turned out pretty well for him, right?
He just saw it hanging there and thought he should wear it. I mean, right? Yeah. Look how that turned out.
And probably wasn't worth $5. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. I'd like to know what he paid for it, eh?
I guarantee he paid $1 or less. I mean, it was 1976.
So it turned out pretty good. Now I'm going to be flying by the seat of my pants because I'm kind of.
Should I have a time filler here?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, you threw me right off by. I think it's funny that we went the same kind of questions.
That is.
Yeah. So well, what else we got?
Well, what else we have for the show? Or
trivia? Well, you got another trivia question before we wrap?
No, I'm all out. I'm done. I'm tapped out.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna do my homework for next week. I really thought I would get you, but you know what? I think that just proves how big of fans we all are.
Sure, it's hard to find something that you don't think somebody would know.
So, and you know what? Honestly, I didn't want to just do something in the movies. I wanted to do something about Sly, right? So, I think it was great. We we joke around a little bit about the trivia, and that's fun. Right? You got me on the
Yeah, I
Stop
mean,
or
we
Mumble
just
Shoot.
do it to
So
have a good
you
time.
know
We
what?
don't.
That's great. But what I do want to get back to is the fact that this living legend, and I'm sorry if you don't like that term, Mr. Stallone, but you are a living legend.
Yeah, I mean, you have to accept that.
You know what? You're just going to have to accept that because we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for the next chapter because the previous chapter has been so phenomenal. And I want to thank you. I was sent a picture here from somebody that we're all going to recognize here. The birthday wishes are coming in like gangbusters here. So I'm going to put this up. And yeah, Carl Weathers,
I
Apollo
want you.
Creed. I want you to have a happy birthday, Sly.
That's right.
Right. So the iconic roles you've created, um, you know, the characters that you've given us. Um, I can't thank you enough, sir. Um, I mean, it's unbelievable. Not only the movies, but if you watch his Instagram and everybody is,
Yeah.
some of the life lessons,
Oh, I love them.
some of the talks that he's given, the scene in Balboa, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
scene in Balboa when he's talking to his son, whether you have sons or daughters, I hope that we can all, I'm not going to say word for word, give that speech to our children one day,
I have.
but pass, what is behind the message in that.
Yep.
And I think as parents, you're a parent, I'm a parent, we all want the best for our kids. We want a better
Yep.
life than than we had. We want to
Yep.
give them every
That's the goal.
opportunity. We want to protect them, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I just find that that the roles that he's given and some of the speeches in the movies, I think of First Blood Part 2 when he's talking about when Troutman says, "What do you want?" I want what they want, and every other guy that spilled his guts and gave everything he had for this country, right? Like a
Yeah.
lot of that I think is coming from inside him, right?
Yeah.
Like he's writing those words. I would love to see what doesn't make it. Like every movie has, it can't be 4 hours long every movie. I mean,
Right.
I would watch a Rocky that's 4 hours long.
Oh, sure.
I would watch a Rambo, right? I would love to
Yeah.
see a collection of deleted scenes,
Yeah.
deleted
That
a
would be
book,
amazing. That would be
right?
amazing. Big Rocky box set or Rambo box
Yeah.
set,
Yeah,
deleted
just
scenes.
everything. I mean, if you dig hard enough, you can find it, you can put it together. But something that he puts out crisp and
Oh,
clean,
that'd be
you know,
awesome. Put
think
together a
about
big
it.
box set, deleted scenes of a copy of the notebook that he wrote in, make a
Yeah,
fake notebook
yeah.
or something. I mean, it
Like
would just be amazing.
I mean, we'll buy it, Sly. I mean, obviously, you
Yeah.
want to put it out,
Right.
we'll put it out. But no, anything you want to say before we wrap up here?
No, no, you said it all. I mean, like I said, I am hoping and well, not hoping. I mean, I hope everything falls into place in
Yeah,
December where I can say something to the man himself,
yeah.
shake his hand and thank him for everything that he's
Hmm.
done, and thanking him for having the courage to be Rocky.
Yeah.
Because of that, millions of us have gone forward maybe when we didn't think we could.
Hmm.
But have a great happy birthday,
Yeah.
7-6 on 7-6.
Yeah.
You lived a hell of a life and many, many more years to come. I hope.
No, that's right. And just to speaking of Sly again, and the characters he's created, I just want to just sort of touch. I didn't talk about it earlier. For anybody listening, we are on the Last Action Heroes podcast network. I know that's a bit of a
Mhm.
mouthful. Look us up on iTunes and Spotify,
iTunes, Spotify, yep,
wherever you listen to us. This week, Saturday coming up, Tony and I have been invited to join It's a Long Road
yep.
podcast with Ryan. We are going to break down some of First Blood. So we're excited to join Ryan on the podcast and
That's gonna be a
talk.
good time. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're gonna come in. So what they do is they have people on. They had John Rivoli on last week. You go back and listen to his episode. So we are going to continue on where Rambo blows up the gas station. So we're towards the end of the movie. We're going to come
okay.
in and continue. So they do like a season. Okay, so they're wrapping up the first season, and we're going to be part of it. I just just quickly, I wrote down a few of the people on the network here, and I wrote them down because I don't want to get them wrong. There's some really good ones. So 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger. You got the Drunk Bond podcast. Van Dammit. Obviously, that's Van Damme. This one I've listened to a couple of these ones. I must break this podcast. So you can imagine the subjects there.
That's
and
awesome.
then last week I actually got in the Discord and I listened to One More Round. The One More Round podcast with Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. And they've got really good banter back and forth. Right now they're talking Rocky. So they're breaking down the Rocky movie. I didn't say Rocky 1, Tony. I wouldn't dare say that. But
Hey, I even slipped up.
you know what? They're really good. They're on the network. We're on the network with them.
Yep.
So like I said, we're gonna join Ryan and talk some Rambo, because another character that is close and dear to my heart that Sly created. Like I said, 83 movies. And he doesn't stop. We don't want you to stop. Unbelievable. Every character, you you go to my shelf and I've got DVDs and the VHS and if it's on TV, I'll stop and watch. I'll find myself watching it. So
that's most of them are put down a remote.
Yeah. Anyways, this was fun, Tony. I appreciate doing this. We could talk Sly all day long, right? So
all day. No, I get a kick out of this. I enjoy doing the show. I enjoyed most of our topics that we talk about are entertaining. I hope to the people that are listening and watching.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Sly, you are watching.
Yeah.
And our birthday wishes. And I'm sure plenty of people will be putting it in the comments as well, that they're wishing you a happy birthday. But we thank you for watching, and subscribe, like the channel, and hope to see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you. See you.